Hey there, hi there, Aries. It's me, Priscilla B, and welcome to your soulmate reading for the month of November. But please take this as a timeless reading. So if you're not reading it in November, it's meant for you whenever you're reading it. I'm just recording it in November, so the energies I'm picking up on, you know, they can apply now or they can apply to whenever you're watching this. Um, but yeah, so I did a little short for you, Aries, and I hope you got a chance to see that in my shorts. Uh, that's funny to say in my shorts. But yeah, so the card I chose for you is this Ace of Swords card. Okay, so obviously a very powerful time for you right now, Aries. You're feeling very powerful. Okay, you definitely are speaking your truth. Um, your sword is definitely a weapon. It's more of a tool, really, that you use to protect yourself and to protect those that you love, and to defend those that you love and care for, to defend their honor and to defend your honor. There's a lot of integrity that goes into this. Um, so let's take a look here. So basically, I'm going to be reading you a magical action reading. A magical action is no different from normal actions. It is often a symbolic representation that is shaped by will and intent, and in turn shapes and affects the world. It is a symbol of real action and carries the same burdens and responsibilities, both ethical and facing the consequences of our choices and in understanding the sacrifices needed by our commitment. And the the suit of swords is action. It's really a suit of action. So, um, it's interesting that in your reading, the main energy is this Ace of Swords. Um, so card number one, representation of intent. That's the Ace of Swords. This card is not drawn randomly, but it is chosen by the court. It represents what the court wants to achieve. And I obviously did not draw this card randomly. I chose this for you, Aries. Okay, so let's explore this Ace of Swords more in depth. So we have here a single sword hangs in the air. The symbol for Thor's hammer hangs off the pommel. Okay, oh, that's what that is. That's Thor's hammer down there. The sky is full of clouds, and one can almost make out shapes from them. A single oak leaf, green and fresh, hovers nearby. 5 runes have been gathered into the staff, meaning the Ace of Swords represents insight. This can be described as the moment you inhale deeply into your body. The calm and center of stilling before moment occur. The Ace of Swords represents the source of all ideas. It can grow with us, as the plant can grow from a seed or a leaf. It can also cut, like the blade of a sword, causing us to learn and adjust our thinking to something new. When it shows up in readings, it lets us know that something new is ready to emerge. It's time to be aware and let it unfold. Keywords: upright, truth, awareness, a new idea, start a new project, initial spark. Reversed: hesitation, grandiose, ideas, inability to flesh out concept, confusion, doubt. Bind rune: help to protect and give you strength as you learn. Interpreting the runes: Dorn is an innate form of self-protection. Page Gill is an uncontrollable injury from outside. Ing is the potential energy that motivates you. Os is the protection of the divine. Sen is a sudden impulse to do something. All apply here to this Ace of Swords. All energies that I'm definitely picking up on. Like, these runes are definitely, you know, they're definitely letting you know that there's something going on here that's bigger than I feel like you could have ever imagined. Um, so that being said, we have representation of will. This card and the two that follow are drawn randomly after shuffling the deck. It represents the resources the court can rely on in order to fuel their action and proceed according to their intent. So let's draw card number 2. Whoa. Ooh, we've got the Queen of Cups. Wow, powerful, powerful divine feminine energy. Not only are you taking action, but you're taking action into the divine feminine, into the emotional intelligence of a very empathetic and beautiful and creative soul. And I always associate swords with like mental activity, mental clarity. Like the swords are cutting through some tension. They're cutting through some like orbital energy flux or something like that. I don't know how else to describe it, but you probably are somebody who does have like a lot of psychic visions and premonitions and things like that. And, you know, that being said, you're not someone who just ignores those dreams, ignores those visions. They're very symbolic to you. So your will, I think, here is definitely to rely on that aspect of yourself and that energy coming in that's giving you that emotional intelligence you need right now to take action. So let's see. Queen of Cups. Or Queen of Horns, because that's what Vikings drink out of back then. Drink out of their horns. So let's take a look at that. A figure with curly blonde hair sits in an ornate wooden chair. Okay, Viking symbols and patterns adorn the chair. It has a high back. The person faces away from the turbulent waters of the ocean. The surf comes up and near their feet. They wear a blue gown and a velvety silver cape with fur. The person wears a crown, and they stare at the drinking horn in their hand. A vine rune appears at their feet. They have an intense gaze that misses the dolphin jumping out of the water behind their body. The Queen of Horns feels their emotions deeply. They navigate the full range of experiences they bring to them. At their best, okay, they are a lovely toast master, okay, chatting and building relationships with those around them. However, beware of their wrath when their mood turns. And I feel like you just, like literally, like probably this past week, went through a person like this, where 1 minute they were trying to build a relationship with you, and then the very next minute, when they weren't getting what they wanted, or what they, think that like they need, but really it's just a want or a desire, they turned, like their mood changed. This could be a woman, this could be a man, with like distorted feminine energy that's not really tuning into their more nurturing side. It could be both. But yeah, while feelings and relationships are commonly seen as feminine realm, we all experience emotions. Okay? It is time to let your feelings out. This queen can help you reconnect to the feelings when you have forgotten. Use their empathy and remind you that everyone has similar experiences. You are not alone. Let the positive passions lend their motivation to your dreams. Let the negative emotions wash memories you don't want away. Keywords: upright, deep empathy, emotional power, seek your psychic gifts, indulge your desires, find equilibrium. Reversed, unstable feelings, victim mentality, manipulative, erratic emotions and behaviors. Vine rune, used to gain clarity from your feelings. Elemental attributions, double water, spiritual power, inner strength, surging of emotions. So, a good, healthy soulmate connection is going to be basically, you know, someone who is very well balanced and very well, like very stable. Okay. Stability creates security. So even when things do go haywire, you are looking at the overall picture. Like you're looking at the overall time that you've spent with this person and wondering, has the time I spent with this person been, let's say 85% stable, 85% good? Or has it been 40% good and 60% bad? So you're looking at that, but it's coming from a very emotional place. You're looking at like a lot of emotional stability, because this uh, reading is really starting to reflect emotions and mental clarity for you. Um, and you want someone who reciprocates that mental clarity, reciprocates that emotional stability. Um, that's really what you're looking for. So we have now the third card, which is representation of sacrifice. It represents the understanding that in order to gain something, something must be surrendered. Letting go can be as much important as to grasp. Okay, so we have here, this card, 10. Just says 10 on there, and there's like a Gandalf looking guy with a bunch of like crystal orbs, different colored orbs. Looks like a magician to me. Okay, so I cannot find this card anywhere in the book. Okay, and I feel like this could mean something very significant. So I'm just going to look it up for you real quick online and find out. All right, so I figured it out. I did a little detective work and I figured it out. This is the 10 of Wands. Okay, so it's a little bit confusing because these are actually wands down here. Okay, and yeah, so basically Odin appears once again. This time he is in the form as a magical creator. He holds his staff in one hand, the gnarled bark growing up into a tangle of wood at the top. His belt glows with the power of the horns of Odin's sigil. He stretches the fingers of his other hand out onto the roots of Yggdrasil, or Yggdrasil. I cannot say that right. Purple energy flows through him and into 9 budding realms. We are bearing witness to the creation of the Norse cosmology. These are Asgard, Elfheim, Vanheim, Nidavellir, Midgard, Jotunheim, Niflheim, Muspelheim, and Hel. Odin's raven companions, Hugin and Munin, hovered nearby, paying attention to what is going on below. Okay? To every end, there is a beginning. In this case, the 10 of Wands is about releasing what you have done out in the world. You spent time dreaming up this idea and worked it to a logical conclusion. The only thing left is to let go and see what happens once it's in someone else's hand. There is a sense of loss and control when you release it to another's care. However, it is time to move on to the next thing. Even Odin released his creations and watched them as they grew and changed through the ages. Upright, release your turn your focus elsewhere. All right. Let's see here. So knowing what you have created. Reverse, inability to see the potential, struggle, giving up, dropping everything, oppression. Bind rune, what you do on earth affects your afterlife. Interpreting the runes, man, means positive creation and path to perfection. Year represents the inner feelings which are driving you. Okay, so, and I really do feel like that is the next steps. Like that is the action that you want to take, Aries. You're really kind of fed up with like the mentality of individuals who are still living a life where they don't have the ability to see potential, where they are constantly struggling, but they're also giving up. They're not fighting for just even the basic things. Like they're not fighting for a good life. They're not fighting for survival. They're not fighting for anything. And, they drop everything and they just like keep constantly like sacrificing like things that are like no one is asking you to sacrifice those things. You're choosing to give those things up, and it's like creating a lot of negative things in their life. Like it's almost like they're like I don't know. It's just like kind of giving up oppression that this card is talking about. And then you have the bind room. What do you do on earth affects you in the afterlife? So many, I feel like, romantic partners that have come into your life, Aries, they don't really believe in the afterlife. They don't really believe in a life beyond just this material one on earth. And they don't really have a spiritual connection to the divine feminine, to the divine masculine. They don't have those abilities. So like Odin, he creates a beautiful magical atmosphere. Let's say he creates a beautiful life for someone, or he creates a beautiful connection. In your case, because this is a soulmate reading, I think like you have created romantic connections with certain individuals, and you've watched those connections grow and change throughout the ages. And then, let's say someone from your past, comes in and like they kind of messed up your world a little bit. They kind of hurt you and they kind of did you dirty, and now they want back in, and letting them back into your life now would ruin what you've created now. So you're not going to let them back in, because they're trying to destroy what you created. They just want to live a life like that. They're constantly bringing these like really negative things to your life. So obviously you're not going to let them back in. You acknowledge, that they're trying to form a connection with you, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, but this is a very oppressed connection. There's no emotional intelligence here. There's no emotional support here. They're lacking in doing the emotional work that is needed for a good soulmate connection to thrive. So I'm glad I figured out what this card is, because it was like really, I was like, what is this, the magician? Is this the world card? Like, I'm so confused. But now I'm not, so I gained some clarity. A perfect example of not giving up, right? And that kind of ties into this whole reading and pulls us all together, because it's like you are connecting worlds. You are connecting to your connections. You are seeing how your life has affected other people and what you've done with your life. And I feel like you're one of those people who were like, I'm in this to win it. You know what I'm saying? And then they weren't willing to keep the connection alive and keep the connection healthy. And you're like, well, if you're not willing to do it, then I'm definitely not, because you've already been putting in like 80% of the effort, let's say, right? And it's like a business deal. I mean, I'm not trying to like make it sound like it's not. So anyways, I mean, just this kind of clarifies things a lot more, because you have formed connections with people over the years, and now you're looking at those connections. And I mean, we're starting to end 2025. Like 2025 is like almost over completely. There's just November, December, and it's over. So I feel like, Aries, for you, it's like you are now like realizing like, wow, like after all this time, after all this energy put into this connection, like, and these are like past connections too, I feel like you're starting to realize like, wow, I gained a lot of clarity. I gained a lot of perspective on these connections and how they were meant to be in my life, why they were meant to be in my life, why certain events occurred, why other events did not occur. And it's all bringing you to this moment now, Aries. So, and you do have to sacrifice those connections. I'm not saying like, if these people don't hit you up again, and you want to say, okay, hi, yeah, how are you doing? Good. I'm not saying you have to be downright rude, or if that's not in your nature. I mean, but if it is in your nature to be like, you know what, like, screw you. Like, who the hell do you think you are? Like, coming at me with that crappy offer, And I'm not trying to take the, like, fantasy, euphoric, out of this world, almost seems like a fantasy. It can't really be happy. I'm not trying to take anything away from those feelings, but sometimes when especially when it's like a past connection, trying to weasel its way back in. I do feel like you have to look at it and say, wow, did that person ever actually do anything good for me ever? Like, or was it always in their best interest? Was the deal there in their control the whole time? And then anytime, you wanted some control, Aries, they like shut it down completely. And there are things like this where it's like, a relationship, you can look at it as sort of a business deal. You can look at it as like, are they treating this like a transactional thing where it's like, I work for them and I'm not even getting like paid fairly? And I'm not talking about like actual money. I'm just talking about like basic common things like, is your boyfriend buying you flowers on your birthday? Are they getting you a birthday card? Are they buying you a cupcake or baking you a cupcake? Like little things like that, okay? Are they going to the dollar store and getting a card for $1? Or are they acting like they don't have money for that? Like, you don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? It's like these kinds of things are very, like, seem minimal, seem like they don't matter, but they do matter. And, it's kind of just like a little acknowledgement of the love and respect that they have for you. And I do feel like there are a lot of men in this day and age where they are so freaking lazy. They don't even want to get up off their butt, off the couch, and like they just want to play video games all day and watch TV all day, and they don't even want to go and buy you flowers and a card on your birthday or Valentine's Day, or if you're a mom, Mother's Day, or Christmas, buy you a nice little gift or something, or make dinner with you. Like, it's like, this person is not relationship material. Those are red flags. That means this person is not worthy of your time or energy. Definitely not worthy of your body. Okay? So forget that. So now we have representation of consequences. It represents how the situation may evolve and change, and it points out the responsibilities of the current for the good and the bad. As a symbolic act, the current may carve or draw the runes he finds in the cards, in order to connect with greater depth, with his own intent, to channel his own will, to accept the sacrifice, and to face the consequences of their actions. Okay? And we have the Six of Swords. Okay? So you're basically like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm done with this. I'm going to new horizons. I'm sailing off into the sunset by myself if I have to. Like, you're not waiting around. You're not sticking around for Mr. Right to show up or whoever you're with now to start treating you better. It's like you're done with that. You're over all that. And you're taking actions now. And these actions, the swords are action cards. So it's taking to a new mental plane, to a new level, like almost like a level up, because you've gained the clarity you've needed. You have all the right tools, and you're just like, I gotta go. I can't just sit around waiting for this person to like start to appreciate me. I can't just sit around waiting for this person to like know that this is the right thing to do. And that's like both. That's like, it's bittersweet because you want the person that you've connected with, to continue to love you and care for you and respect you, but sometimes they just can't. They're just not emotionally available to do that, and they just don't know how to do the work to get there. And that's, perfectly fine for them, but it's just not fine for you. Okay, no more excuses. Okay, Aries. So, let's take a look here at the Six of Swords. A seafaring Viking sets out for new lands in a river. They pilot a single long ship. The Viking has placed 6 swords in the bow of their craft. Each one represents a different skill and trait. The waters are calm for the moment, and the sun casts a bright light over the land and terrain. It looks like this journey will be smooth and easy. No warnings in the distant water. There is much this Viking can contemplate while moving ahead. 6 runes appear on the sword's blades. A journey is taking place on the Six of Swords. A Viking travels from one place to another, whether it is for trade or to spread out and find their fortune. This Viking takes 6 swords with them. They are heading into the sun, looking forward to what the dawn brings. The message this card brings is knowing that you are moving to better and brighter futures. Let go of who you were in the past, take what you need going forward, and carve out a more hopeful place for yourself in this world. Enjoy the journey. Bright, pleasant travels, moving to a higher plane. The journey is important. Let go of the past, reversed, stuck in place, uncertainty, anxiety, mental baggage, a rough journey. And yeah, and these people from your past are still stuck in the past. Like, how can you go from literally, like, I don't even know, like, a time for, like, let's say 2 years, right? How can you go from, like, being the same person you were 2 years ago to being the same person 2 years later? Like, how is that even possible? Like, I understand if you're like in the same job or something like that and you like your job, or you live in the same place, I can understand that. But like, what about if you're like I don't understand if you like literally haven't built anything for yourself, like absolutely nothing, you haven't even tried. Like, that I don't get. Like, it just really boggles my mind. And when I mean like live in the same place, I mean like you live alone by yourself, or you like I'm thinking of like, just people who still have the audacity to say like, oh, I'm available, but I still live at home with my parents. And I'm like, you are like 30 something years old. Like, unless your parents are dying and you're taking care of them, or you have like your own like real estate empire and you just like you live in a mansion, your parents live on like the left in the west wing and you live in the east wing. Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I don't. It's like they've given up on like everything. They've given up on trying. And it just is like, and then even if they have money and they just act like they don't, and they don't even want to spend like $2 on something for you, they don't even want to like do 50-50 on a date night. Like, they don't even want to go to a movie. They don't want to do anything. It's just like so relationship lazy. Like, it's like lazy relationship material. There's got to be like a term, like someone's got to like coin a term for someone like that, like who's just lazy when it comes to relationships, and then they act like they're like the biggest hottest thing in the world, and I'm just like, how do you think that? I just don't understand how you can even think that about yourself. Like, I don't understand. Like, that is not what women find attractive. But okay, good for you. Like, I don't understand. Buying rune. A necessary trip brings you good creative energy and joy. Interpreting the runes. Thuric denotes a brewing and painful presence within. Perod signifies an unknown force that fills you with energy. Geofu means the joy of giving something away or surrendering yourself. Rada is the harnessing of power. Need represents what you crave the most. And win is a joy that comes from the heart. So it really is a win when you let go and you sacrifice that person. You're just like, I can't with you. You're on your own. Because I feel like, Aries, you bring so much power. You bring so much beautiful energy to the people that you like touch in your life. Like, your heart really does, like, I feel like the love you have in your heart really does touch a lot of people and really inspire a lot of people. And for like, these let's just call them what they are, distorted masculines, distorted feminines, let's just call them what they are. They think they can just come in your life, uproot your life, and you're not even going to pay any mind to it. You're not going to say anything about it. You're not going to do anything about it. You're just going to be like, oh yeah, sure, you can totally ruin my life. Oh yeah. After you did a first time or a second or third or fourth time. And I'm not trying to give them like credit for what they've done, because I don't support that. I don't support people coming in and like literally uprooting your life and making your life a little living hell. I don't support people who do that. I'm saying is like, they don't even acknowledge it. They think it's almost like, oh, it's just a game. It's just funny. Oh, why do you take it so seriously? It's like, how do you not take something like that seriously? How do you not take something like that personal? So, But yeah, I think overall though, Aries, you're like really definitely like letting go of all of that, and moving into a better place, moving into a brighter place. And you're looking for someone who can meet you on your level, okay, who wants to level up with you and keep that connection going, and keep it strong, and take actions towards making sure you know that you're loved by them and that they respect you. And this isn't just a physical connection where they can just physically use you and then throw you out, literally or metaphorically shut you out. But someone who can grow and learn with you. And like, if you're having a bad, like, shitty day, like, you can call them and they'll be like, I got you. I'm not busy right now, or I'm busy right now. As soon as I get done, I'll help you. Like, things like that, and that goes way beyond just the person who wants to use you physically and then hurt your feelings the next day. So, or that day even. I mean, let's be honest, there's guys who do that. So, um, and, I feel like you just keep protecting your heart, keep finding that equilibrium, keep trusting your gut and your instincts, because the Queen of Cups is all about that. And keep up with your creative processes, and keep creating connections, keep building on that, because you never know where it could take you. Next thing you know, you could be meeting your soulmate and, having a beautiful life with them. So just don't give up on that, for yourself. And yeah, love and light always. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time. Bye.